Woo! What's going on, guys? Orms Forum coming at you guys today with another video. In today's video, I want to be talking about another Detroit Lion that I feel is getting a little bit of disrespect. I think the disrespect for wide receiver QUINTEZ CEPHUS is real. You know, took him a few years back, 5th round out of Wisconsin. He was a Wisconsin Badger. Played in a real run-heavy offense. Put up decent numbers as a wide receiver in that offense, though. Made some noise. Ended up getting drafted late. He went through some sexual harassment charges from it was either one or two girls. Beat that case, and I think this guy probably would have been drafted, probably at least by the 3rd round. You know, but some character issues, and he ended up dropping in the draft. But I think he's a really good wide receiver. Now with us, you know, I think he's getting a lot of disrespect by the media. I even think by a little bit some of the fan base. I know a lot of the fan base does like the kid. I like the kid too. Last year, you know, we went into that 2021 season. No Matt Stafford. Wide receiver core was completely in shambles with guys like Marvin Jones going off to Jacksonville, Kenny Golladay taking big money in New York as a New York Giant, and then Danny Amendola, who pretty much just retired. I think he might have played for Houston for a little while last year, but he ended up pretty much retiring. He ended up retiring. So those were pretty much our main guys for Matt Stafford for the last few years before that. And QUINTEZ CEPHUS was going to be a part of that 2021 wide receiver core, and you know, they brought in Tyrell Williams, who got hurt, and literally the second, third quarter of that San Francisco 49er game, got taken out, done for the year. Rashad Perryman, who Brad Holmes brought in, and he didn't even make the club. They brought in Damian Ratley. He didn't even make the club. QUINTEZ CEPHUS pretty much got shot up to wide receiver 1. And kind of, you know, before he went down, he was putting up some okay numbers. Now, his numbers for his career, he's only got 2 years under his belt, 35 catches, 553 yards, 15.8 yards per reception, which is nice, moves the chains, 4 touchdowns, at a 61.4% catch rate too. So if you're paying attention at home, that's like, you know, that's like a little bit over 6 catches out of 10, if that's how you want to do the math. So it's not bad. It's not eye-popping, but it's pretty solid. And last year, he was on pace for about 50 catches, 600-plus yards, 6 to 8 touchdowns. You know, the beginning of last year was just really bad for this ball club and Jared Goff in this offense. It was kind of a train wreck. And it's like, going back to last year was just even worse. You know, like I said, Williams not even making the club, but getting hurt. Tyrell Williams, Rashad Perryman not making the club. The guys like Geronimo Allison, Damian Ratley, who I said got cut. Victor Bolden, you know, more of a slot guy. Javon McKinley, a UDFA, who I think might have seen the field in the last game of the year, if I can remember. Jonathan Adams Jr., another rookie that we picked up. I don't even remember that guy, to tell you the truth. Somebody inform me there. Sage Surratt, a UDFA that never really, don't even know if we even have him on the practice squad this year. I don't even think we do. I don't think he's even with the Lions no more. And then, you know, we picked up Khalif Raymond, who had a really nice year. And then we had Tom Kennedy, who's missed a practice squad pretty much. And then Amon-Ra St. Brown, obviously becoming that 4th round superstar that, you know, that doesn't happen a lot. Picking him up late out of USC, him becoming a focal point of our offense. But Cephus was right in there. You know, then we end up picking up Trinity Benson last year too. And this is where the disrespect kind of unfolds a little bit from what I'm hearing. It's like, we're talking about our 4 guys, okay? We're talking about our first 4 wide receivers that probably are not going to go anywhere on this team. DJ Chark, who we picked up, played for Jacksonville Jaguars, a guy that gets hurt a lot but has a lot of talent. Josh Reynolds, a guy that's really familiar with Jared Goff, from the LA days. Once he came over, Goff got a little bit better. Lots of things had to happen, but Josh Reynolds was a part of that. And then we got Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's not going anywhere. And then the fourth guy is Khalif Raymond. I don't think he's going anywhere. There's talks about, is he on the bubble? I don't think there's a prayer that guy's going anywhere. Not saying that this guy is a phenomenal wide receiver, but I think they really, really like what he brings to the table. He brings, not only does he bring, he's kind of a gadget player. He's that fast, small wide receiver who can find open spots, but he's a special teams guy, punt return to kick return or whatever you want to call him. And then even in these early mini camps, these early OTAs, he's even had some running back drills. He's even getting in there with the running backs and doing some of those drills. So he's Mr. Utility. He's a jackknife. He's a Swiss Army knife pretty much. So he's a guy that's not going anywhere. And those are your top four. And then now we talk about this camp battle that's going to have the number 5 and or number 6. And they keep talking about the Cephus versus Benson. This is where I think it gets a little bit disrespectful for Cephus. Everybody seems to think that Benson's got this locked. Not everybody, but there's a good group of people that seem to think that Trinity Benson has this locked. Why? Because Brad Holmes goes out last year and gives up a 5th round and a 7th round pick for Trinity Benson. Guy that was a superstar at camp for the Denver Broncos, but nowhere was he fitting into that wide receiver room. So now the talk is, what are we going to do? With Trinity Benson, we needed a wide receiver. I already showed you what our 2021 or told you what our 2021 wide receiver core was, and it was god awful. It was not a good look. So people seem to think that just because Brad Holmes gave up a couple picks, we got a 6th round back to, by the way, 2023, but we ended up getting a pick back and a player. Now, Trinity Benson has done nothing, okay? The Trinity Benson's done absolutely zero in the NFL. Now, he's young, okay? He's very young. 10 catches, 103 yards, 10.3 yards per reception, no touchdowns on a 45.5% catch rate, okay? Now, I don't think Cephus is going to, if they go with 6 wide receivers, I think Trinity Benson's number 6. I think QUINTEZ CEPHUS should be that number 5. Now, I know a lot of people seem to like Trinity Benson. He's going off in camp, early camp, and these mini camps and these OTAs. Cephus too, though. So that's why they're talking about this so-called training camp battle that we've been talking about, and there's a few of them that are going to go down. I think it's a little bit disrespectful to Cephus, because people saying, A, not because of the trade, and B, that this regime owes him nothing. They're not part of bringing him in. They never drafted him. They never brought him in as a free agent. And I think that's somewhat correct. But I think Cephus, man, has pretty much earned, I think, his way onto this team as at least the number 5. You might not be as fast as Trinity Benson. I think Cephus has decent hands. I think he has really good hands. We'll see what happens in training camp when the pads go on, but I'll tell you right now, Cephus is way more physical. I think he can get up more. He's a bit bigger, obviously at 6'1", 200 pounds or 210, whatever he is. Benson is about 5'11", 180. If that, he's a little bit smaller, apparently quicker, and that's okay. But I think the disrespect is real. I think Cephus deserves to be on this team, and I really think he should be the number 5. I think we're going to go with 6 just because of guys like, Jameson Williams. There's a good chance that this man goes on the PUP, physically unable to perform list, or he could even go on IR and miss 4 weeks. Now the PUP is 4 weeks too, guys. I know I've had some arguments with some people about this, but the PUP is 4 weeks now, and then now you can start practicing after 4 weeks. You can still stay on the PUP, but you can continue to practice 2022, they tweaked it. They tweaked IR and pup. I'll try to talk about the pup a little bit here. Physically unable to perform used to be, I believe it was 6 weeks. Okay, then you can come off it. Then you can start practicing. They've tweaked it in 2022. Now it's 4 weeks. You can continue to practice going into week 5, still stay on it, and then you make a decision if you want to take the guy off and he can play in week 5. I just read it. I've been looking for stuff on this for a while because I thought I heard it before, but then, it's you just hear different things and then you try to look it up, man. It's like, it's hard to find. Like, I'm not even joking. It's tough to find. I'm trying to find the rules, but I finally got it down. I even saved it in my phone if I need to look for it again. And then the IR, I think the IR used to be 8 weeks, I believe, 6 to 8 weeks or something like that. But now that's 4. So you have to miss 4 games though. And then you can come off the IR. Before it used to be 6 to 8. Now they're trying to down it so players can come back quicker. Not that we want guys to rush back. It's just that they don't have to stay on the pup or the IR that long anymore. Like sometimes you come off that physically unable to perform before 2022, you're sitting for a while, man. You're coming off 6 weeks. You might not be ready to practice. Now you're practicing going into week 7, and you might miss another week or 2. You're coming back in 8 weeks instead of like 6. So now it's a little bit down, but I'm babbling like an idiot. But that's the thing, though. Now guys can come off. You're gonna have guys like Jameson Williams, though, that can go on the pup, go on IR, miss some time, but can come back a little bit earlier if they're ready to go. That's why I think we're gonna have 6. But the disrespect for Cephus, I think, needs to stop. If we go a 5, I think it's Shark, Reynolds, Amara St. Brown, Raymond, and then it's QUINTEZ CEPHUS. Then Benson's either going to the practice squad or he's getting cut. That's my take on it. We have the bubble guys too, like Corey Sutton, a UDFA, big-bodied guy from Appalachian State. Khalil Pimpleton, a Central Michigan kid who's looked kind of like a Khalif Raymond Cologne out there. Then you got Tom Kennedy, who I think is a bubble guy, but he's Mr. Practice Squad, like I said. Trinity Benson, I think, could be bubble. Cephus could be bubble, but I don't think he's going to be. I think he needs to be that 5th guy. And then you got Josh Johnson, another UDFA from Tulsa, who's another smaller guy, has some hand issues, but he's kind of electric, but never got drafted. He's a UDFA. So it's a tight room. I think it's a really tight room, but I just, when you start reading about Cephus, I was like, and I just seen the article too. The guy that explained it too, I can't remember what the guy's name was. Don't forget. I don't remember. I forget it, man. I should have rolled it down. He was saying that Cephus he seems like he's the wide receiver that's out, that's not in the right spot. Guy that's kind of out of place, doesn't fit. He doesn't fit what they're really looking for. When I read that, I was just like, oh man, I got to make a video on this, man. Because this is a guy that stepped up for this team the last year especially. He was pretty much the number 3 guy his rookie season, 3 or number 4 guy coming in. He's made some really pretty good circus catches. He's caught a couple touchdowns. I don't think he's any joke whatsoever. I like Cephus. I think he should be in the lineup, and I hope he wins that number 5. I think it'll be kind of a mistake if they drop him, because I think he'll catch on to a team, and he could be a guy that would burn us. Like, I'm not calling this guy the next Cooper Kupp or anything like that, or anything. Not calling him DeAndre Hopkins. I'm just saying it's a guy that I think the Lions really need to hold on to, and I think he needs to be at least that number 5 guy. He doesn't bring any special teams to the table. He's not fast. He's not any of all that. But he's an exceptional route runner with good hands. He can get up. He's got a good size on him. He's not overly huge, but he's 6'1", over 200 pounds. So and he's physical. And he's a physical kid. So enough of the QUINTEZ CEPHUS disrespect. I think he's the number 5 guy on here. And I think Benson's more of the guy to lose his job than anything. But it's going to be a camp battle, apparently. But that's the video, guys. I'm talking on and on. Went on a rant a little bit, but that's okay. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Thanks for the video, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. Get all my videos. Let's talk about QUINTEZ CEPHUS, man. Where do you guys see him? Where do you guys see him, man? You guys see him as the number 5 guy? Number 4? I don't think he's going to be that. I don't think he's going to get that bump up, but I think he's definitely number 5. At worst, number 6 guy. I think we're carrying 6 wide receivers just because we got some injury history going on with Chark, and then we got Jameson Williams on either PUP, IR, whatever they're going to do with him day to day, whatever they do. But I think we're carrying 6. But thanks, guys. Go Lions, one pride, baby. Boom.